Now, in the past, we've really been answerable to ourselves and our own bank account. Now we're actually answerable to a manufacturer and a team, and I've of course got expectations of what we've got to do. And it's not necessarily about winning or being the fastest at the moment. It's about showing progression and not throwing the car off the road and working with the team. And there's so many aspects outside the driving that is quite critical. So, it is certainly a pressure situation this year. There's probably 20 other drivers knocking at the door that want in, so I can't afford to slip up. It's always been the dream here, of course. Not there yet though. Like the dreams to go all the way to the top, and that's still a hell of a long way away yet. So, but of course this is a massive step towards that. To be part of a factory team in the World Rally Championship is, you certainly got to pinch yourself sometimes. So now we have to make the most of this opportunity though. So I'm not sitting back in awe about where we are or what we've achieved. Okay, well, yes, we've achieved a lot, and it's not just me; it's everyone around who's been helping. But it's no good getting to this point if I don't make the most of it. So that's what we've got to be fully focused on now. I'm quite lucky this year now that I can just solely focus on the driving and not have to worry about the funding and that sort of side of things as much. So now it's just really stay focused on the job at hand, focusing on trying to improve and all that other stuff. Probably the big thing this year now is working quite closely with an engineer. So my engineer Clement has come from Citroën. He actually used to work with Sebastian Ogier and that, so he's got a lot of good information and experience. But a lot of it's working really closely with the engineer, overlaying data. The team runs a bit of an open book policy where I can see and look at the data from Terry's car and what he's doing setup wise, or Yuho and whatever, and that's allowed me to learn a lot. So the team's really trying to help develop me as a driver, and it's about working closely with the team and trying to improve both myself but also the car. The car's still in its development stages. Terry, he's been in the World Rally car for the last 3 years, but he was basically starting in the World Championship about the same time as myself. And Yuho and that, they're all pretty inexperienced with World Rally cars. A lot of them have been around for a long time, but they haven't had the opportunity. But it's still they're great people. We've all got the same ambitions. We're all very competitive, but at the end of the day, we're all a team. We're all trying to develop the car, work with the team, and try and improve things. And we give each other a bit of banter from time to time, but it's all pretty friendly environment. You never really expected to be winning this year. That's certainly the goal for next year, but they already have 2 podiums, several stage wins. It shows the potential that's there, but the team's working very hard, and the car is quite good when the roads come to the car. When they're smooth and fast, the car's very competitive, but there are some places where we still need to improve a lot with suspension and things like that. It's very fast, actually quite similar to some stages you'd get down the South Island, so I enjoyed it. It was sort of like our home. There are a lot of places where it's quite challenging as well, where it got really soft and sandy, quite rutted, and that's quite difficult to commit when it gets like that. But no, I love Poland, and it's a good warm-up for Finland. They're two very similar rallies, so hopefully we can keep progressing forward. Finland I enjoy. I like. If you were to compare it to any stage in New Zealand, Currybush is an exact example of what you'd expect in Finland. So it's the sort of roads that I like. I have no doubt that we can go faster. The only problem in Finland is that all the other drivers also know the roads very well, and they'll be very fast as well. We've always been pretty lucky to have the amount of support we have, but we obviously get a lot of support here in New Zealand. That's the main part, and particularly people staying up all hours of the nights to follow the results and things. But we are certainly building up a fan base overseas, and it's just when you're part of a World Championship in a World Rally car, there's a lot more interest than what there normally would be when you're in the support categories. A lot more people, a lot more spectators, so it does probably put a little extra pressure on in that respect. But at the end of the day, they just love seeing cars. They don't care necessarily who's driving them. So. Ultimately the goal is to try and get a full-time contract for next year, so a lot of that's probably going to depend on how the next 2 or 3 rallies go. Sit down with the team and have some discussions, but that's our objective this year is okay, we want to measure ourselves against Terry and that, but the primary objective is to meet the team's goals so we can get the full-time drive for next year.